We are live from America. Thank you very much for joining in this beautiful, wonderful Tuesday evening. I am your host of the show, the ever so humble, ever so God fearing, but God loving host, Jeremy Herrell. This is live from America. Today is February 16th, year of our Lord 2021. And man, we got a great show for you tonight. I want to make sure I click over here and grab some live viewers here so I can give some shout outs. And I have to do it this way because it comes so fast that I possibly can't even keep up. So, as we always do, let's give some shout outs here to people who are watching. Jim Gerard from Florida, how you doing? Lisa Harris, hello, how are you? Thank you very much. Carol Palmer from Mayaca City, Florida. I hope I said that right. Randy Tinch says 12 inches of snow here, and he loves it with the praying hands. So God bless you, man. Allie Schmidt said hello from your new monthly donor in Wisconsin. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. I very much appreciate that. Who else do we have in here? We have Michael Brasco from Montreal, Canada. How you doing, man? Wendy Maxwell from Minnesota. And Jennifer Saul says, can I get a shout out? Well, there you go, Jennifer. You got your shout out. I hope that makes you happy this evening. And I wish I could shout out everybody. I really do. Who else do we got in here? Let's see. Sherry Johnson says, good evening. Lisa Scott from Western New York. I like the way you put Western New York to distance yourself from, the crazies in the city. Not to say if anybody's watching from the city, they're crazy, but you know what I mean. Stephanie Gatlin says, shout out. You got your shout out, Stephanie. I'd like to give a big shout out to Ann Brink, who is a big show with a fan. And who is a new friend of mine. Brenda Hines from Georgia. Laura Vines says hello from Arkansas. I think you guys got some snow down there too, didn't you? Let's see. We got Sean Schroeder, who I talked to today from Utah. And I want to tell you guys all that Sean Schroeder has taken it upon himself to try to build his own Christian conservative network to rival Amazon. And if you go to www.light speed-ecommerce.com. That's www.light-speed-ecommerce.com. It's basically a new Amazon. So I want to give a big shout out to him. Patricia Keating from Illinois. And let's give one more shout out here to, let's see, who's it going to be? Chris Ambrose from Buffalo, New York. Thank you guys all so much for joining in tonight. I want to ask you to please like this video right now, subscribe to this channel, and click the notification bell so you get notified. But I even got a different way to get notified. At 11 o'clock and 5 o'clock every day, just go to jeremyherrell.com. Click the Live from America icon to the right, and it will prompt you immediately to watch this video. Okay? Susan Miller says, shout out Susan Miller, please. Well, there's your shout out. I'd also like to shout out Mary Lang, who I got a letter from today. So Mary, if you're watching, I did get your letter. And yes, you are more than welcome to do so. Thank you very much. And one more shout out to Jamie Moore and her family and her daughter, her daughter Hannah, who is battling some stuff right now in the hospital. And I'd like to say that you have my prayers, Jamie, and so does your daughter Hannah. So Hannah, if you're watching, you got it, young lady. God is with you. We'll be praying for you. We love you. And you got a good mom and dad there. Okay, you got a great mom and dad there. And I did what I could today to help you out. So just know that, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the show or if you're not new to the show, you know how we do things here. And we give our love and our honor, our attention and our worship to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and God above. And tonight we are going to read, obviously, February 16th, year of our Lord, 2021. We're going to read from Jesus Calling, and then we're going to go right to the good book, the best-selling book of all time, the BIBLE, Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth, and find out where this devotional was inspired from. Are you ready? Here we go. Thank me for the conditions that are requiring you to be still. Do not spoil these quiet hours by wishing them away, waiting impatiently to be active again. Some of the greatest works in my kingdom have been done from sick beds and prison cells. Now, I want to stop right there for a minute. I always wondered why people who went to prison came out closer to God. Now, whether they stay that way or not, that's a different story. But I always wondered that. And it's because God comes to you, or you call out to God when you're in some of your worst places. So it says there, some of the greatest works in my kingdom have been done from sick beds and prison cells. Instead of resenting the limitations of a weakened body, search for my way in the midst of all these very circumstances. Limitations can be liberating when your strongest desire is to live close to me. Quietness and trust enhance your awareness of my presence with you. Do not despise these simple ways of serving me. Although you feel cut off from the activity of the world, your quiet trust makes a powerful statement in spiritual realms. My strength and power show themselves most effective in weakness. And it's referencing Isaiah 30:15 and 2 Corinthians 12:9. So I'm going to just read from Isaiah, because when I read the two of them, I really thought Isaiah was probably the most powerful to get this this devotional across. So Isaiah 30:15 says, "For thus says the Lord God, the Holy One of Israel, in returning and rest you shall be saved. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Yet you were not willing, and you said, no, for we will flee on horses. Therefore you shall flee, and we will ride on swift horses." And ladies and gentlemen, what this is basically saying is just wait on the Lord. Look towards the Lord and your weak points. When you are weak, when you are feeling down, when you are feeling alone, when you are feeling that nobody else in the world has got your back, there's always somebody who does. And that's the greatest thing about God. That is the greatest thing about God, is he never leaves you, ever. You can be hated by the world. You can be in the worst place you could ever possibly be. You could have screwed over 1,000 people, and nobody trusts you and nobody likes you. But guess who does? God in heaven. So just always remember that, guys. Always. That you are a child of God. I say it every day at the end. You are a child of God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get right into it today, because we got one heck of a show for you. Are you ready? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So, when President Trump says the best is yet to come, we didn't really know what to expect. We didn't know if that meant he was going to come back and remove Resident Corn Pop and his hairy legs because he's illegally there. We didn't know if that meant he was going to wait till 2024. We didn't know if that means he's going to try to become the Speaker of the House in 2022 and then impeach Biden and Harris. We don't know what that means. None of us really knew what the best is yet to come actually means. Thank you, Odin. I appreciate that. Odin Locke says, Jeremy, you're the best. However, I think I have an idea what it means, ladies and gentlemen. I think I do. Let me ask you this. What would make the Democrats more mad and more upset? What would make the anti-Trumpers and the Trump haters, the never Trumpers, what would make them more mad than having President Trump in the political spectrum, in the political realm that we call the swamp? Well, I can tell you what would make them more mad than that. Having not one, not two, not three, but 4 Trumps in the political realm. Multiple people with the last name Trump, with a MAGA movement behind them, with a Make America Great Again, Make America First agenda behind them. The power of the people, the power of populism, right? So, the best is yet to come. Let's talk about that for a minute, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm about to make you smile. I'm about to make you happy. Laura Trump, President Trump's daughter-in-law, is gearing up to run for North Carolina Senate seat. And she's got a lot of power behind her, and she's got likability, and she's got a wonderful, beautiful family. She's a beautiful woman herself. She's very intelligent. She's very savvy. And if you remember, her and other Trump allies and Trump friends and Trump family members, they were doing a little show, I don't know if they're still doing it or not, but they were doing a little show on Facebook called The Right View, which kind of had a double meaning, right? The right being conservative and the right being the correct view, to battle the view with Whoopi Goldberg and all of the rest of those Trump haters over there. So they did a wonderful show leading up to the election called The Right View. She's got that it factor. So Laura Trump, most likely, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be running for Senate, for a Senate seat in North Carolina. But wait, there's more. We talked about this, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, that Tiny Hands Marco Rubio, Rhino Swamp Donkey Marco Rubio, is absolutely shaking in his rhino boots. And he's so scared because Ivanka Trump is basically in her beginning stages, putting those feelers out there, putting her toes in the water to run for his Senate seat. And then Ivanka would be a senator in Florida. Then you'd have Laura Trump, who's a senator in North Carolina. But wait, there's more. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump Jr., a wonderful, wonderful man, and I've had pleasure of speaking with him as well. Donald Trump Jr. is also talking about running for some form of government. I don't know if it's Senate. I don't know if it's Congress. I don't know what it is, but he came out and said he never felt right in boardrooms. He always felt like he was faking it being in the boardroom. But when he's out with the people, when he's representing the people of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, woo, that's when he's at his glory. That's when he's at his finest. And who knows? It might be Wyoming. He's talked a lot about Wyoming. He's a hunter. Wyoming's got a lot of hunting. It's got that wide open land that he loves so much. He's an outdoorsman. He reminds me a lot of one of my favorite presidents, which is Teddy Roosevelt. Okay? And who knows? He's already talking about going to Wyoming, and he says, I hear Wyoming is nice in primary season. So I don't know if it's there or if it's somewhere else, but that would be three wonderful, amazing, capable, smart, energetic, and God-loving people from the Trump family that would easily win any of those seats or any of those states that I just said. And then you got the man himself, ladies and gentlemen, the king of the circle back, the king of the comeback, ladies and gentlemen, Donald J. Trump, or shall I say President Donald J. Trump, because he will hold that title again, and he will have a second term. Who knows when that's going to be? Your guess might be as good as mine. But the fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, can you say winning? He said that you would say winning so much that you would say, please stop. And what is more winning than President Trump winning again? And that's his entire family being involved. Can you dig it? Ooh, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that makes me smile. That's the best news that I've probably said on this show in weeks, maybe months. And that is to have the entire Trump family. I'm telling you what, the Dems and the Rhinos and the Swamp Donkeys all alike, they thought they were going to get rid of President Trump. They thought they were going to make it so he could never run again. They thought they were going to diminish his brand. They thought they were going to separate his people, his followers, the power that he has, which is you and me and everybody else around the world watching this feed right now and other people's feeds. They thought they were going to end that. And all they did is make it stronger. All they did is make it more energetic. All they did is increase the number of people that were on that Trump train, baby. And all they did is basically back themselves into a corner. And I can't wait. I cannot wait to go out and campaign for each and every one of those people that I just mentioned. Boom. Is that a way to start a show? If that's a way to start a show, then give me an amen in the comments. I want to see 4,000 people type in amen right now. And then copy this link and go over to Facebook and share it over there. I want to give a shout out to everybody on my Telegram too, because Telegram is the place to be. I love that app. Telegram is awesome, and I love all the people over there. And I want to give a big shout out on all the platforms: Facebook, Telegram, Instagram. Anybody who's got a fan page or a group page or a family page that has something to do with me, that's holding down the fort, I want to just tell you I love you, and I'm always going to pop in and talk to you folks. I'm not going to be like others, okay? Boy, look at all those amens flying through there. I can't even keep up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I reported earlier that Mom Jean's Mitt Romney, actually, I don't know if I reported it on the show at 11, but I did put it on Telegram. Mom Jean's Mitt Romney thought he was in the clear, ladies and gentlemen. He thought because the Utah State GOP said that they were not going to seek censuring Mitt Romney. Now, we know every other one of these GOP rhino swamp donkeys who have voted to impeach President Donald J. Trump are now either getting censured, have gotten censured, or how there are plans in order to put together a group of people in the GOP party from counties to censure them. However, the lone wolf, Mom Jean's Mitt Romney himself, he was the only one that thought he was in the clear. He was the only one that thought he was not going to be censured. Because the Utah State GOP said, no, we're not going to seek censoring him. But there's more, ladies and gentlemen. The power of the people, the same power that the people give to these Mom Jeans, Mitt Romneys, and the Mitch McChinas, and the Stretch Face Armstrongs, the people that give them the power said, no. If you're not going to do what we want you to do, then we will do it ourselves. Shout out to the voters and the citizens and the residents of Utah, because they are now putting together their own petition to force the GOP to censure him. And if the GOP doesn't want to censure him, then they can all be voted out too, because the people are going to censure him. Ladies and gentlemen, every single one of these traitors who turned their back on the greatest president that the United States has ever seen, and that is not a debate. That is not arguable, okay? Every single one of them is being pushed out by their state GOP, by their state party, by the people of the party. Why? Why? It isn't because these state GOP as a whole have much, much more morals than the people that they're censuring. It's because they know that the populism movement is in full effect. It's 1,000 miles an hour. They know that the people of this country know who won. They know that the people of this country that know who won are going to stick with those candidates. Stick with that Make America Great Again agenda. Stick with that America First movement that Donald Trump has created single-handedly. Well, I guess 80 million strong, but he was the one that came in, knocked down that house of cards, and said, no, we ain't gonna do this no more. So a big shout out, ladies and gentlemen, to the people of Utah for holding Mom Jean's Mitt Romney accountable. Now, speaking of swamp donkeys, we've been talking about Andrew Cuomo quite a lot lately, haven't we? Andrew Cuomo has been on the tip of my tongue for days, and it's not to puke. It's to talk about exactly how much of a puke this guy really is when it comes to politics. Who knows? Maybe God looks at him in a different way. But when it comes to politics and when it comes to killing old people, this guy is a puke. So let's move on and talk about the tale of two states, okay? New York versus Florida. You have one governor who's incompetent and who nobody likes, and you have another governor who's very competent and who everybody likes, and who's going to be very involved in President Trump's future endeavors when it comes to draining the swamp. All right? So New York versus Florida. Let's talk about that for a minute. New York has a massive lockdown and has had one for the last year. Remember a year ago, 15 days to slow the spread? Well, New York has been locked down for the entire year, has destroyed businesses, has destroyed people's homes, has destroyed savings, 401ks, has destroyed dreams, has destroyed the spirit of the American people by destroying the spirit of the youth, not letting people go to churches, not letting people go to schools, literally cutting the head off the economy of everybody and everything in the state of New York, thanks to failed Mayor Bill de Blasio and thanks to failed Governor Andrew Cuomo. Now let's talk about Florida for a minute. Florida went the opposite way. Florida protected the elderly. Florida protected the nursing homes. Florida protected the people in the hospitals. Florida made it a priority to make sure that the most vulnerable were protected. Florida didn't lock everything down. Florida's back in school. Florida doesn't have a statewide mask mandate. Ladies and gentlemen, Florida actually ranks 11th lowest in excess deaths among seniors. 11th lowest in excess deaths among seniors, and it's one of the most populated states. So the tale of two states, ladies and gentlemen. Why Resident Corn Pop and anybody around him is even talking about restricting travel to and from the wonderful sunshine state of Florida is for one reason and one reason only: politics, ladies and gentlemen. Politics. I ain't got to tell you that. You know that. I know that. The world knows that, because it definitely cannot be based on numbers of COVID deaths, COVID positive cases, and anything else that has to do with the flu. It can't have anything to do with that, because the numbers are in Florida's favor. This is a political revenge from the Biden administration and everybody that puppets this poor man, because they're mad that Governor DeSantis did not follow their rules, that he decided he was going to work for the people of his state and not for the puppeteers in Washington, D.C. And ladies and gentlemen, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the numbers. The proof is in the math. And it's not that white supremacy math that we talked about on 11 o'clock show today. No. This is real math. This isn't Common Core math. This isn't that fake Oregon white supremacist math. This is real math. 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4. So I want to give a big shout out to Governor DeSantis once again. And the tale of two governors and the tale of two states, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have to tell you. All you got to do is look at the stats. And Florida is winning. New York is losing. And people are leaving New York. It's actually, New York and California are among the two states that have the highest rate of people leaving. They're sick of it. They're sick of the taxes. They're sick of the lockdowns. They're sick of the politicizing of their lives. They're sick of everything. They don't want to live under a dictator. People are going to Texas. People are going to Arkansas. People are going to Florida. People are going to the Midwest because they want to live free, ladies and gentlemen. They want freedom. So I just wanted to bring that up. Now, talking about another great state, let's talk about Texas again, because Texas AG, the Texas Attorney General there, I think his name is Ken Paxton, if I'm not mistaken. What a wonderful patriot this guy is. What an amazing patriot this guy is. We all know that Resident Corn Pop is going after the guns. He said he promised he would do it on the campaign trail. That was a tongue twister. And when he was riding around with beta male O'Rourke, they were promising to take people's guns. They were promising to take, I'm sorry, that was funny. I love when I say that, beta male O'Rourke, because it's so true. It's so true, isn't it? Is that not true? Is Beto O'Rourke not a beta male? Come on, people. Come on. Somebody said, did you get my email? I do my emails in the morning, and I'm always behind, so I haven't gotten it yet, but I will get to it, I promise. Anyway, we know they're going after the guns, but Texas AG Ken Paxton said, no, not happening. You will never, as long as I'm in this seat, you will never undo the Second Amendment in Texas. Never. And what have I been talking about? How powerful states are, right? States are very powerful. We found out during the President Trump first administration how powerful states were because they locked down everything. They let riots happen in the street. They let people be murdered. They didn't call in the National Guard, and they would not let President Trump help. Let me say that again. They would not let President Trump help. Why? Because states have power. That is what the Democrats are going after, ladies and gentlemen. They're going after the states. They know that there are more red states than blue. And if these red states continue to work together to ban transgenderism in sports in high schools, to ban any kind of unconstitutional emergency or executive order from Resident Corn Pop himself, then none of them have to basically heed any of, they don't have to follow anything. They don't have to follow anything that Biden is doing with his Crayola crayons from the White House. And I just want to give a big shout out to Texas. Now, everybody's wanting to know what's going on with Maricopa County and the election fraud that's happening there. I'm going to bring you up to speed if you are not up to speed already. Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, we already know that the state Senate there has subpoenaed the ballots and the Dominion machines themselves. They want everything as it relates to the 2020 election. They want to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. They want forensic audits of everything. And for some reason, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it weird Isn't it weird that for some reason the Maricopa Board of Supervisors, who do not have power over the state Senate, who get all of their power from the people who put them in these positions, just like any elected official does, they don't want to give this stuff over. They are fighting so hard not to give this stuff over. It's almost like if you get pulled over by a cop and the cop says, "Can I search your car?" And if you have nothing to hide and if you have no reason to say no, you say, "Go ahead. Search it all you want, front to back, but hurry up because I got somewhere to go." But if you're guilty of something, you say, "No, no, I don't want, no, you got to get a warrant. You got to get a warrant." And even then, you still fight back. Ladies and gentlemen, they are doing everything they can to not hand over the subpoenaed evidence. They're trying everything they can. All right. Now, we know we had an opportunity last week with the state Senate to vote whether to basically hold them in contempt and arrest them. What happened during that vote? Well, it's a very, very thin margin. There's 15 Republicans. There's 14 Democrats. Okay? So if you had all Republicans vote, yes, let's arrest them, you would have 15 to 14. But what happened, ladies and gentlemen? Didn't work out that way. Why? Because a single Republican there by the name of Paul Boyer. Paul Boyer. Remember that name. Write it down. Rhino. Paul Boyer decided that he was going to be the Lone Ranger to save the day, and he was going to vote with the Democrats, which made it, ladies and gentlemen, it didn't work out for the Republicans. It did not work out. It was actually 16-14, I'm sorry, and he made it 15-15. I misspoke there. He made it 15-15. It could have been 16-14, which would have been the Republicans. But he decided he was going to vote with the Democrats and made it 15-15, which really, ladies and gentlemen, made it cancel out so that it was a no vote. So now the Senate has an opportunity to go back and put it on the floor again and vote on it again because it basically was a no vote. It was not this way and it was not that way. So guess what the Maricopa Board of Supervisors did next? They actually are appealing to the courts. They are begging and pleading on their knees to the courts to step in. And you want to know what they're asking the court to do? They're asking the court to basically say that the state Senate can't go back and have another vote on it. They're literally saying that the people of the state Senate, are not allowed to go back and vote. When they're the state legislature, they can't go back and vote on this again. Maricopa Board of Supervisors is asking a judge to make it so they can't go back and do that. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, there's more. They're also asking the judge to basically put a gag order on the state Senate so that they can't refer to it as election fraud anymore. All you have to do, if that's the case, Board of Supervisors in Maricopa County, all you have to do is just hand over the evidence so that we don't have to say election fraud anymore. If there's no election fraud, why would you be trying to get a court to step in where they have no jurisdiction to do this? It's literally political theater, just like the impeachment. There is no jurisdiction for a judge to order a state legislature to not have a vote on the Senate floor. There's no jurisdiction there. There's no standing there. So if you don't want them to say election fraud anymore, and if you don't want them to be a thorn in your side and possibly arrest you, then just hand over the evidence. But you and I know, ladies and gentlemen, there's only one reason why they don't want to, right? Because the truth will set you free, and it will put them in jail because there was fraud. Anyway, that's what's going on with Maricopa County. I figured I'd bring you up to speed on that. And since we're talking about losers like Paul Boyer, let's talk about Dr. Fauci. I actually have it on my notes right here. My very first thing about Dr. Fauci is Dr. Fauci is such a loser. Now, why, you might ask, did I write Dr. Fauci is such a loser? Well, I'm going to tell you why, ladies and gentlemen. He's the highest paid unelected official in Washington, D.C., and you know what he said? Dr. Fauci came out and said that under President Trump, that he was afraid. He was afraid to do any kind of press conference. He was afraid under the President Trump White House and under the President Trump administration because President Trump was notorious for holding super spreader events. And everything that President Trump did in the White House was a super spreader event. And he was scared. Every time President Trump asked him to speak, he was scared to speak because it was a super spreader event. This is coming from the same guy that a year ago told you you should not be wearing masks. Masks don't work like that. But then came back and said, oh, you should be wearing a mask. Then came back and said, no, you should be wearing 2 masks. Then came back and said you should be wearing the entire box of masks on your face. Put a pillow over your face, for crying out loud. What's wrong with you? Now, I was in the store the other day and I was looking at all the masks that were selling there. And I noticed something about the masks. First of all, it said not a medical device. Not a medical device on the mask. Then, if you flip the mask over, it said made in China. So let me get this straight, Dr. Fauci. You want us to wear masks that are clearly not medical devices, that clearly do not stop you from getting a virus at all, no matter what mask you wear. It can be N95 and you're still going to get it if it's in the air and if you're, whatever. I have my own opinions on COVID-19 to begin with. But then, if you flip all of these masks over, 9 times out of 10, it says made in China. So you want us to wear a not medical device from a country that is responsible for the COVID-19 virus anyway. You are a loser. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how many degrees you have. I don't care how much money you make in Washington, D.C. from our taxpayer money. You're a loser, and you need God. And maybe I need God for calling you a loser. I don't know. But you've destroyed this country, Dr. Fauci. You have destroyed this country because of a political narrative that you have been paid to say. I said it. Other people won't say it. I said it. Newsmax won't say it because they're afraid of getting sued. I said it. OAN won't say it because they're afraid of getting sued. I said it. Fox News won't say it because they're just cowards. I said it, and I know all of you would say the same exact thing. All right, earlier I played a clip for you about President Trump's lawyer when he was basically just lighting up that CBS reporter because she was just a petulant little child who was trying to talk over him, and he basically gave it to her, right? What I forgot to say, and what I had written down earlier to say as well, was that he had to, get this, ladies and gentlemen, because of his work that he did with President Trump, he had to move his wife and his children to a secure, secret, undisclosed location to live. And, ladies and gentlemen, he has had to hire round-the-clock armed guards to keep him and his family safe. Think about that. Think about his poor kids. Think about his wife. Think about their family, ladies and gentlemen. Because of his work in defending President Trump as a lawyer, and defending against unconstitutional charges, he's had to move his family to a secure, undisclosed, safe location with round-the-clock, 24-hour paid armed guards to keep them safe. And he is worried about losing his license on top of everything else. This is the world we live in, ladies and gentlemen, and who's at fault? Who is he keeping his family safe from? Who is putting his family at risk for their lives and for their physical safety? It's one word, ladies and gentlemen: Democrats. The very same people who are responsible for the violence, the death, the destruction of the economy in our streets for an entire year and called for it day in and day out, the same people who try to, again, point the finger in another direction from the things that they do, like Andrew Cuomo does, they're the ones causing all the violence and divide in the country, and they're the ones that people have to protect themselves from. You never see people running from conservatives. You never see people hiring bodyguards because of conservative Democrats. They are the scum of this country, and they are the division in this country. And they are forcing us to say these things about our fellow Americans because they have no mercy, ladies and gentlemen. They want to destroy you every which way they can. They want you dead. Just like Andrew Cuomo wants. They want you dead. If I'm wrong, then why do people have to get bodyguards? If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Makes me sick. ladies and gentlemen. It makes me sick. Anyway, moving on. I talked about Fauci and Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, and then I talked about the Democrats, and I'm just all worked up. And Lord, please, God, please give me the strength and the courage and the integrity to move on from that kind of anger. All right, moving on. Press Secretary wannabe Jen Psaki, because she's really not. Definitely when you compare her to Kayleigh McEnany. But wannabe Press Secretary Jen Psaki says it will be a couple of months at least before President Biden has an in-person meeting with world leaders. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is taking phone calls for President Biden with world leaders. That's not normal. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing is the 25th Amendment about ready to take place. That's what you're about ready to see. Wannabe Press Secretary Jen Psaki says it'll be months before Biden meets with a world leader in person. Why? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's the same reason that I said yesterday that he doesn't want to hold public events right here in the United States with the very same people that he claims to represent. You know, the 80-something million, more votes than any president in the world ever in the history of the United States of America, yet not a single person showed up to his inauguration, yet not a single person cares about him, not a single person respects him. The very same people that he's supposed to represent, he won't even hold public events with. But yet, all of a sudden, Kamala Harris swoops in. And what's she do? She's taking calls with world leaders. We called this months before January 6th and January 20th. You knew it, and I knew it. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to witness some real sick stuff coming from these Democrats. And we called it a long time ago. And for anybody out there who considers themselves a liberal or considers themselves a Democrat and who said we were just, that was fear-mongering and that was wrong and we were conspiracy theorists, you going to tell us we were right when it happens? You going to tell us we were right? Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. And this on the heels of Kamala Harris coming out and saying that the Biden administration had no plans for a vaccine rollout. President Trump's administration had plans for it. They were going to use the National Guard. They were going to use the military. They were going to make it, they were going to facilitate this for the states in each state that wanted them there, and they were going to roll it out just fine. She actually admitted on camera, we don't have a rollout plan. We don't have one. We don't have a stockpile either. Well, the vaccine was created in light speed, Operation Warp Speed, remember? And had a perfect plan. But then you guys come along with all of your ignorance, and what? You don't have a plan? Come on, man. Call President Trump. Get the plan from him. It's pretty simple, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to end. Oh, and by the way, is he going to have a State of the Union address? What's up with that? Where's the State of the Union? Where does the State of the Union address? Are we going to have one? Is he going to sit up there and mumble through that with his mask on? Or are they not going to have it because it might be a super spreader event? They can blame everything on COVID. They can blame the election on COVID. They can use the COVID for the mail-in ballots. They can use COVID to, we just found thousands and thousands of ballots in the middle of the night. And the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, they haven't let up on the COVID stuff is because so they can protect Resident Corn Pop himself. That's why. Because they got an excuse for everything. Oh, it's COVID. We're just scared of COVID. That's all. We're just scared. Oh, we can have impeachment trials. We can have impeachment hearings. Can't have COVID. No. Can't have a State of the Union address, though, huh? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the last thing that I want to talk about is this whole thing with the Department of Justice wanting to go after the people who passed around the George Floyd Valentine card meme. If you have not seen this, I'll say where I'm right in the middle when it comes to this stuff right here, okay? Because I don't want to make fun of anybody who's ever lost their lives. I don't want to make fun of people who are not here no more. That's not my job. My job is to make fun of people who are here, like Corn Pop and Psaki and stuff like that. So I don't want to make fun of George Floyd in any way. But if you don't know the story, here's the story. So on Valentine's Day, there was a meme that went around that showed George Floyd on one side and from a Valentine's Day card, and on the writing on the Valentine's Day card, it said, "You take my breath away." Now, that's not really funny. I mean, it really isn't. Now, if he was still alive, Maybe it would be funny. Maybe we could make fun of it a little bit and have a little bit of a comedy aspect to it, but he's not. So here's where I am on this, okay? Is that poor taste? Yeah, it certainly is. Is that kind of a disgusting thing to do? Yeah, kind of it is. It kind of is. It is. Because when we make fun of that, it's not making fun of George Floyd. It's making fun of the entire setup around it and the entire response around it and how the Democrats used this poor man and his death to basically politicize the entire event. That's what people don't understand. They're not making fun of George Floyd himself or his family. They're making fun of the situation that the Democrats used and basically abused around the death of this poor man. Okay? Now, here's the other side of it, playing devil's advocate for a minute. Are we really going to send the Department of Justice after people who shared a meme on social media that said, "You take my breath away," and showed a picture of George Floyd? Are we really going to spend taxpayer money to go after people who passed around and shared this meme on social media? That's the part of the story where I'm like, come on, are we serious? Are we seriously going to go after people and put them in jail for sharing a meme? That's almost as bad as back when Hillary let the people die in Benghazi and they put the guy in jail because they said he made a video that sparked the whole thing. Did you know that guy, I think he's still in jail, by the way, even though we know that it wasn't that. We know it wasn't that sparked the whole thing. I'm pretty sure that guy's still in jail. Last I checked, he was. So we got this guy who has all these illegal drugs in his body. We know he had fentanyl and a ton of other stuff. We know he was eating drugs as the police were coming to the car. We know he asked to be taken out of the car and asked to be put on the ground. We know all of this. And the fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, when they did the autopsy report, he had more drugs in his system than a pharmacy has on the shelves in the store. Okay? So we're really going to go after people and put them in jail or bring charges up on them for passing around a meme on Valentine's Day? Regardless of whether you feel it was right or wrong to pass it around, or if it was in good taste or not, or if it was bad taste, that's not my part of the story here. My gripe with this story is, are we going to send the Department of Justice after people like that? We're not going to send the Department of Justice after people who basically committed fraud in a national election, but we're going to send the Department of, or how about send the Department of Justice after the people in the Lincoln Project who are straight pedophiles, who literally are pedophiles, but we're going to send them after people who share memes? I mean, I'm glad I didn't share the meme, but I mean, I wouldn't have shared that meme anyway. I would have seen that there was bad taste in that, but I'm not going to fault anybody who doesn't. I sure as heck don't want to see people go to jail because of it. You know what I mean? Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend, Saturday, I will be in Tennessee. Please go to Tennessee Freedom Force on Facebook. They have their group page there. Join their group page. You'll be vetted that way. It's the only way you'll be able to get into the event. They will tell you where the event is being held. They will tell you what time the event is being held. It's at 5 p.m. Central Time in Tennessee. You go to Tennessee Freedom Force on Facebook. Check out their page. You can get all the information that you want there. There will be security there. I will be speaking there this Saturday night. I hope to see you there. I hope to meet you there. The only way you're going to be able to get in is if you go to Tennessee Freedom Force right now and join the group, and you can be vetted in that way. I hope you do it. I'd love to see you guys there. Thank you for joining in for Live from America tonight. Please go to jeremyherrell.com, sign up for the newsletter so we can never lose touch again. You can also find out everywhere that I am, because all the links of where I am are on the front page. Please consider becoming a one-time or monthly donor, as it helps the show and it helps the growth of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. God bless you for joining in tonight. And remember, there are right ways, there are wrong ways, but there's only one Yahweh. So stand up tall, keep your shoulders back, your chest out, and your head up high, because you are a child of God, and no weapon formed against you will ever prosper. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. for more Live from America. Thank you for joining in, and we'll see you later. Signing out, ladies and gentlemen.